The Shorties and the Tallies, based on a story by John McConnell. There was once a land where all the people were either short and fat or tall and thin. There was no one in between. The Shorties and Tallies, as they were called, did not like each other. Each thought himself to be better than the other. When the Shorties were talking amongst themselves about the arrogance of the Tallies, they would call them beanpoles. The Tallies would talk to each other about how stupid the shrimps were. The beanpoles and shrimps were always arguing and fighting, and there was no peace in the land. The Shorties and the Tallies did not know each other very well. They never tried to be friends. Indeed, they both refused to have anything to do with each other. They refused to live next door to one another, use different shops, and their children even went to different schools. Separate businesses and even churches and temples were built to meet the needs of the Shorties and the Tallies. Demand grew for land to be divided in two. There was talk of war as the beanpoles blamed the shrimps for problems in the land, and each side rushed to buy guns. The ruler of the land did not help. Most of the time he was just interested in accumulating more wealth for himself. Sometimes he even blamed the Tallies for the problems of the land. And as intolerance increased, even the children were told by adults that the other group was not good. The children of the Shorties were told to not make friends with the beanpoles, and the children of the Shorties and the Tallies were told not to make friends. Then, one day, a very strange thing happened, and all the people of the land went blind. Yes, blind. Not even one person could see anything. Everyone's world was turned upside down in more than one way. The people stumbled around, trying to find their way from the shops and the churches and the temples. And they were bumping into one another and tripping over each other. Little children, teenagers, and adults all needed help. And they helped each other. Adults conversed with anyone they bumped into to ask for help in finding their way. Little children were taken care of by the older children and mothers of both. The Tallies and the Shorties helped each other find their children. At first, the Tallies did not know. They were sometimes being helped by beanpoles, and Tallies did not realize that they were being helped by shrimps. They welcomed the understanding voices and the generous help. But as they helped each other with their hands, they began to realize that some of those kind hands were thin and long, and other kind hands were short and plump. One shorty named Miriam said to herself, "I bet that's a nice bean pole out there." But as Miriam tried to find her way to the store to buy food, she was again helped by another Tallie. Ali, one of the Tallies, was also surprised. "Those shrimps ain't all so mean," he thought to himself one day when a shorty helped him to find his little brother. As one long week and another week passed by, each person began to realize that the shape and size of each other's bodies no longer mattered. They began to judge each person they met by his or her behavior instead of appearance, whether they were kind and gentle or mean-spirited. They began to appreciate their new friends and understood that a person's character is much more important than the way he or she looks, and that good qualities can be found in everyone. With this realization, the hearts of the short, fat people and the tall, thin people began to melt. They were kinder to everyone they met, and as they began to grow fond of their new friends, their sight returned just as suddenly as it had disappeared. They laughed with each other in their joy of seeing, and they promised never to be deceived by their eyes again. Thank you.